Thanksgiving, or as I said last week, the Turkocalypse. 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 Say that 5 times fast, I guess. You know, the number of times on your hand that you make the little turkey with the picture. Anyway, it's a time to sit down and think about what you're thankful for, like your artistic skills. For instance, I have a little project I did for you all. I took an actual picture of a turkey and I decided to draw it as best as I could to demonstrate my artistic talent. I even added some wonderful handwriting to say Happy Thanksgiving. And so what I realized is I'm not thankful for my artistic talent. But you could be thankful for your artistic talent. What is it that you're thankful for? Is it your friends? Is it your family? Is it me? It's me. I know it is. It's okay. Because this is college success coaching after all. And I'm Eric Allen. So let's get started on the Turkocalypse. All right, so everybody has hopefully had a great time preparing for this wonderful occasion. And this is one of those times of the year where it's really easy to talk about things that are important and to discuss what it is that you would want to have worried about and what work you would want to have done and all that other stuff. So, you know, without further ado, I wanted to talk about the mug of the week. In spirit of this holiday season, if you don't know what that is, it is not fruit arrangement. It is edible arrangements. There may be many types of fruit baskets, fruit delivery, chopped fruit, and chocolate dipped fruit, but nothing quite compares to edible arrangements. The original, the authentic, the 100% chocolate and covered in fruit. Yeah, I mean, this sounds like an advertisement, but really, I'm actually thankful for them. I like their chocolate dipped bananas like a lot. Like I'm kind of obsessed. So if you would like to send me a Thanksgiving present that I can eat at the table or not eat at the table and not tell anybody about, think about edible arrangements. I'll let you know the address if you send me a private message. I can't have too many of them, though, or I will probably die of banana overdose. Even coffee tastes better coming out of this mug. There's also arrangements where you get the mug and then you get the arrangement in the mug. Bet you didn't know that. Yeah, of course you didn't. You were too busy thinking about yourself. That's one of my favorite jokes, by the way. It was like, did you know this? Yeah, of course not. You were too busy thinking about yourself. Anyway, that's the mug of the week. So I did want to go over an article that is relevant to what's going on in the world today, and hopefully something that can help you all to understand how you learn. And, you know, some of this is going to be kind of rote and some of it's going to be a little dry. You know, I'll try to do my best to make it not boring, but, you know, sometimes data is data, right? And not data from Star Trek: The Next Generation. If you have ever watched that, he's also kind of boring. So, yeah, it really is just data is boring sometimes. But we're going to work on it anyway. So, this is the article of the week. The article of the week, if you are looking on YouTube, you can find that in the description below. If you are looking at this on the live stream, you can check it out right now. I just posted it in there. But if you are not subscribed to the channel, why not? What are you doing? Talk about being thankful. I know that you're probably thankful for all of these amazing videos that we produce every week just for you to look at. But did you know that you're missing out on more than half of what we talk about every week? Yeah, bet you didn't. Bet you didn't also know that you're missing out on all of the great materials and tools and things like interviews with experts that we have on the website. You also get more access to me. Who doesn't want more access to me? That's a lot of access. The point is, you can be a member, and it really isn't going to cost you literally anything. There's a 2-week free trial, and it's only $50 a week afterward. I'd really appreciate you coming in and trying us out. I know that you won't leave, so check it out, www.collegesuccesscoaching.com, or you can just click the link down below in the description. It'll take you right to the spot where you can subscribe. And if you subscribe this week, you can get on to next week's live stream, where you can get all of your questions answered live, and you can get them answered by me, and I'll even answer it half correctly. I won't answer it. I'm going to give you the truth, which is probably not the answer you want, but it's the answer that'll help you. So maybe I'm not the hero that you wanted. I'm not the hero you deserve. I'm not a hero. The point is, this stuff is really good and it works. So jump on in, become a member. I'm really excited to have you all join. In the meantime, The article is, what is your teaching style? So this is an article for teachers, 5 effective teaching methods for your classroom. So this is by Concordia University, Portland, which is really great because what I want you to see is this is what they are teaching teachers. So when you are worried about like, what is this teacher's problem? Why am I not learning in this classroom? What's going on? How come I don't get this class better than this class? There's a lot of questions that come up like that. Like, math was really easy for me last year. Why is it so hard this year? I think it's the teacher. Well, maybe not the teacher per se, but maybe your learning style versus their teaching style. So this hopefully will give you a little bit of behind the curtain information that'll let you understand how to have better conversations with your teachers to get more out of them, honestly, because usually, not always, but 99% of the time, a teacher is in that profession because they want to teach kids. So if you help them on how you learn, it'll actually really probably make them very happy. And they'll be amazed that you even thought about teaching styles when you're, a high schooler. So nice work. Ahead of time. I know you're going to do it. So you've got style. These teaching styles highlight the 5 main strategies teachers use in the classroom, as well as the benefits and potential pitfalls of each. So they're going to go through, and again, take notes on some of these. It really is better if you take notes, because we're going to have you write down all of these styles, and then you're going to write down which education style you think fits best for you. And we're going to see if they work out together. And then in the Q&A, if you're a subscriber, you can actually ask me if that's the fit that you think it is, and we'll confirm. And then hopefully that'll help you to take something with you when you go to school tomorrow or when you come back from break. So the authority or lecture style is the first one that they discuss. The authority model is teacher-centered and frequently entails lengthy lecture sessions or one-way presentations. Now, who does that remind me of? Does lectures, talks for the most time. I don't know who that is. Students are expected to take notes. Yeah, I don't know who says that either. Or absorb information. Now that I don't tell you to do. But here's the pros. This style is acceptable for certain higher education disciplines and auditorium settings with large groups of students. The pure lecture style is most suitable for subjects like history, which necessitate memorization of key facts, dates, names, etc. Here's the cons. It's a questionable model for teaching children because there is little or no interaction with the teacher. Well, see, that's where we're better, because you can interact with me the entire time. You can even comment in the comment section if you have something that you want to say. Plus, it can get a little snoozy. Yeah, you can't have it be that long. That's why it's a better approach for older, more mature students. Well, you guys are mature. I don't know if you're all older, but you're more mature. And if you're watching this online and you're like way older, like you're much more mature. But also, what are you doing on this channel? The demonstrator or coach style. Ooh, coach, I like that already. The demonstrator retains the formal authority role by showing students what they need to know. The demonstrator is a lot like the lecturer, but their lessons include multimedia presentations, activities, and demonstrations. Ooh, almost like resources. Think math, science, and music. We don't do music here. We don't do a lot of music here. So here's the pros. The style gives teachers opportunities to incorporate a variety of formats, including lectures and multimedia presentations. I don't know how that's a pro. It's just stating what it does. Cons, although it's well suited for teaching mathematics, music, physical education, or arts and crafts, it is difficult to accommodate students' individual needs in larger classrooms. That's why you need one-to-ones. Like, honestly, and I'm going to go through this, and I'm joking, but honestly, this is why the whole service makes sense. You send me messages, you send me questions, I'll answer them live, we're interacting, and also we can do one-to-ones so that we can get to the core of what you individually need. And this isn't even education. I mean, it's kind of educational, kind of like it's not therapy, but it's like therapeutic. That's, what I've heard. But, it is important to do all of these things if you want to retain and kind of take in these ways of thinking so that you can go out there and use them. So here's the facilitator or activity style. The facilitators promote self-learning and help students develop critical thinking skills and retain knowledge that leads to self-actualization. Whoa, pump the brakes, Maslow. All right, pros. This style trains students to ask questions and helps develop skills to find answers and solutions through exploration. It is ideal for teaching science and similar subjects, and apparently for helping you reach a level of nirvana psychologically called self-actualization. Cons, challenges teachers to interact with students and prompt them toward discovery rather than lecturing facts and testing knowledge through memorization. So it's a bit harder to measure success in tangible terms. I'm fine with that for what we do. But, if you're going into a math class, you're going into a science class, and somebody is worried about you self-actualizing, again, not a bad thing to say, hey, pump the brakes, Maslow. Like, I need to learn this stuff because we have a test and I need to know the information. Obviously, don't be a jerk, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it is not conducive to memorizing things to have somebody just do this questions and answer and activity thing. And then you're kind of like, okay, but what's going to be on the test? And they say, oh, that's in the notes and that's in the book. Maybe you need more of a demonstrator or lecture style. I hope you're writing them down. There's going to be a quiz at the end of this. There's never going to be a quiz at the end of this. The delegator or group style. That's the next one. The delegator style is best suited for curricula that require lab activities such as chemistry and biology, or subjects that warrant peer feedback like debate or creative writing. I'm all about that debate. Demonstrating delicious coffee. So pros, guided discovery and inquiry-based learning place the teacher in an observer role that inspires students by working in tandem toward common goals. That sounds great. Cons, considered a modern style of teaching, it is sometimes criticized as eroding teacher authority. As a delegator, the teacher acts more as a consultant rather than the traditional authority figure. Yeah, I kind of get this. Look, don't do drugs. The point is your teacher should be respected as the authority figure. I would say that to you as your consultant, that you should be treating your teacher with respect and accept that they have authority because, number one, they know more than you. Obviously, they're teaching you something. Even if you think you're smarter than them, which I'm not saying you're not, but intelligence isn't knowledge. You can't replace knowledge with intelligence. So it doesn't matter how smart you are, how quick you think. They still know information you need to know to be successful in life. And if you were really super smart, you would know enough to know that, and then you would be trying to learn from them. Got you there, smarty. So it is important to have respect for the teacher, but there's nothing wrong with delegating and group style projects, except for this. And I will go over this. It's going to be one of my rants of the week. I just had a student come to me, and this was a college student, and say, I'm in a group project where there are 5 of us. 5. The turkey, right? The feathers, the beak. There are 5 of us. 2 of us in the group are doing nothing. One of them has never even met with any of the group members. The project is due in 2 weeks. So 3 people are doing the project work of 5. He addressed this issue with the professor, and the professor basically gave this answer. Well, you could all separate out, and each of you could do the project individually, or you can continue working together as a group. Essentially saying, well, 3 out of 5 is better than 1 out of 5. This is a horrible response, and it really does require taking this to the next level. But here's the thing. That's a first gut answer from a professor who's probably annoyed that, these are the whiny kids that are complaining that the group project person isn't doing their job. But what this student is doing, which is the correct thing to do, is to send out messages over the break, starting today, saying to everyone, hey, here are all of the things we're responsible for. I am doing the write-up, so I need all of this information from all of you by Friday. If I do not have it, everybody else in the group is going to break up your part, but you are going to get a 0 when we vote for your grade at the end of this project, and we are going to have to inform the teacher that you have decided not to participate in the group project, whatever happens from that happens. So he's going to put his foot down and be firm. Now, here's what happens. Typically, because this isn't my first rodeo, that student still doesn't reply, doesn't do anything. Then the group gets together. They have to do all the work, but they broke it up because they kind of knew this was going to happen. Obviously, it's been 3 months and the person hasn't really existed in the group. So then they get together. They do all the work. It's beautiful. Now this kid who's done nothing is going to get all of the points for this group project saved for 5% that they will be scored by the group on. So they're going to lose that 5%. But they're banking on the fact that this group is going to try to get a 95. So then they'll get a 90. So she's going to get a 90% for doing literally nothing in a group project. Does that sound right? It's not right. And here's the thing. I'm not a tattletale, and I'm not big on you guys just trying to get people or whatever. I'm big on minding your own business and doing your part and doing your work. But what does this achieve? This is not about fairness. This is about what does this achieve from the teacher's perspective. We're looking at an article right now about teaching styles and how to be a better teacher. At what point as a professor or a teacher are you looking at the situation going, yes, that's a valuable lesson they're going to learn? About what? That when there's somebody not pulling their weight, they're going to do well. And when you go to the person, the foreman, the supervisor, the president, the professor, and you say, hey, this is the situation. We've tried to address it multiple times. We've gotten no response back. There's no resolution to this. Can you intervene in some way? No. And just suck it up. It's going to be unfair and you're going to deal with it. Like, what is the lesson here? Don't try hard, be that person who does nothing. Like, why don't they all just do nothing? And then the one person who desperately needs to get a good grade in this class is going to do all the work because they know, or the two know. If they don't do that work together, then they're going to get a better or worse grade. So then everybody's is being taught that doing nothing pays off. Everybody's being taught that when you are mature and you try to address an issue, nothing happens and it doesn't matter. Sorry, kid. What is the lesson here? So what they will do is now they will have documentation from emails, and they will present it to the professor and say in an email, what would you like us to do about this? This is the history of what's going on. Please tell me what steps that we need to take. And then if nothing happens and the student gets the grade that she does not deserve, that's when you can take further action, whether that's the assistant dean or it's the chair, or maybe it's just a one-to-one conversation with the professor and saying, this is really absurd and it's really not right. And I really feel like the wrong message is being put across, and trying to find out what their mentality is about the situation, that they think it's okay to do it this way. Because just like everybody else, they're human and they could be wrong. They could be mistaken. They could have the wrong idea of what's happening here. And maybe we're missing something. You know, maybe after 10 plus years of looking at situations like this, I'm missing something that they're going to teach us. And I can't wait for them to explain, because I'd love to give you guys the answer to that. In the meantime, it's absolutely ridiculous. And that type of group project does not serve you well, doesn't serve anybody well. And all that does is make people not want to cooperate, because all I hear after that is how much everybody hates group projects, because there's always that student. There's always that group mate. Oh, I love it so much. So let's start practicing now on how to stop bad group mates from making bad decisions that are going to hurt the group and inevitably let them get away with it. That's been the rant of the week. Sorry, I had to get that out of the way. It drives me nuts. It really drives me nuts. So anyway, let's talk about another learning style, the hybrid or blended style. Hybrid or blended style follows an integrated approach to teaching that blends the teacher's personality and interests with students' needs and curriculum appropriate methods. Pros, get this. This is for adults, by adults. Inclusive! Exclamation point. That's what it says. And it enables teachers to tailor their styles to student needs and appropriate subject matter. So it's flexible? Cons. Hybrid style runs the risk of trying to be too many things to all students, prompting teachers to spread themselves too thin and dilute learning. Probably. Because teachers have styles that reflect their distinct personalities and curriculum, from math and science to English and history, it is crucial that they remain focused on their teaching objectives and avoid trying to be all things to all students. You can't be everything to everyone. That's just the great lesson. So here are the styles. I'm going to go over them again. There is the lecturer, which would be kind of like me doing this right now, but with no interaction. The demonstrator or coach style, which is closer to what I'm doing, which is where we include lectures, multimedia presentations, especially if you're watching this on YouTube. And it gives the ability for you to interact. The facilitator, which is really developing critical thinking skills, which we do when we do our article reviews and things like that, where we're really critiquing the article itself. And solutions through exploration. The delegator is the kind of team leader that's giving different ideas out to people to try out, and then everybody's trying to experiment and find out the solution to something, brainstorming, chemistry experiments, things like that, except for don't blow up the lab. The hybrid, which is kind of a mix of those things, multimedia, lecture style, delegator, facilitator, experimenter, blah, 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 oh my, so many things. So that's all the learning styles. So then it tells them what they need to know about their learning styles. That's great, and that gives them some resources to figure out what that is. Then there's emergence of teaching style inventory. So how have teaching styles evolved? We don't care. So, you can read that at your own time when you want to learn about how you're going to be an educator. By the way, if you are going to be a teacher and you're looking to go into education, this is a fantastic article. Look it up. It is a great springboard for you to learn more about how to teach people things. And teaching people how to do things and teaching people information is also one of the best ways to memorize information. So it's not like this is useless, but read it on your own, because it's defeating the purpose of what we're talking about, to continue to dive into what teachers could be doing, because I want students to figure out what they can do with this information. So what teaching style is best for today's students? Whether you're a first-year teacher eager to put into practice all of the pedagogical techniques that you learn in college, or a classroom veteran examining differentiated instruction and new learning methodologies. I love the SAT words that they're throwing in here to make themselves sound very clinical. Basically, whether you're new or you've been doing this for a while and you want to add something to your repertoire, ooh, that's another word, sorry. Consider that not all students respond well to one particular style. Although teaching styles have been categorized into 5 groups, today's ideal teaching style is not an either-or proposition, but more of a hybrid approach. So let me just stop there for a second. I know that we're going to get into your learning style. They just got done talking about how the cons of a hybrid leadership style and teaching style is that you're trying to be everything to everyone. Now they just get done saying this in the very beginning of the next section. The ideal teaching style today is the hybrid approach. So don't try to be everything to everyone, but today's teachers should be everything to everyone. And you wonder why the education system is so messed up. The traditional advice that teachers not overreach with a cluster of all-encompassing teaching styles might seem to conflict with today's emphasis on student-centered classrooms. You read my mind, or I read your article. Theoretically, the more teachers emphasize student-centric learning, the harder it is to develop a well-focused style based on their personal attributes, strengths, and goals. In short, modern methods of teaching require different types of teachers, from the analyst and organizer to the negotiator consultant. Here are some other factors to consider as teachers determine the best teaching methods for their students. So, here are the different types of student. There is the empty vessel. Critics of the sage of the stage lecture style point to the empty vessel theory, which assumes a student's mind is essentially empty and needs to be filled with the expert teacher. Wow, we're going to skip on through that. Active versus passive. So that's when they're looking at being active. You guys are active in the classroom versus passively learning information. Knowledge versus information. So that's memorization versus analysis. And I could get into a whole thing. Actually, let me know in the comments, or let me know on this if you want me to get into whether or not I think it's important that you memorize things. Oh, I can't wait to do that one. So I hope you say yes. Interactive classrooms, constructivist teaching models. So they're trying to figure out how teaching styles are interacting with student learning styles. So what they're saying is essentially that if you are the kind of person that likes to interact in the classroom, it's important that the teacher is able to respond to that need. And if you're the kind of person that kind of just wants to sit back, hang back, take notes, and through osmosis just absorb it, they need to also kind of leave you alone. And so the objective of blending these teaching styles to leverage the teacher's strengths while meeting the demands of you, the students, it's getting harder and harder, because we're learning more. And parents are taking a decidedly proactive role in child learning techniques. So how many of you are watching this because your parents were involved and said, duh, you need to be doing this, like Demi? Why aren't you on something that makes you better at school? I'll wait. Hold on, I'm going to click over and see. Oh, all of you. Okay, so so yes, your parents take an active role. Imagine how your teachers feel about having your parents come in all the time and being like, change your teaching style. My kid learns differently. Yeah, a lot. So the age of the proactive parent. They even call it the age of the proactive parent. Effective classroom management skills are important. Lesson mastery is important, and positive expectations. Almost like the parents are expecting teachers to become experts in what they're teaching their children. Duh. Yeah. So anyway, hopefully this is helpful in terms of where your understanding of why your teacher's acting the way they are comes in. Your teacher might be more of the interactive type. They might be more of the lecturer, and it's really kind of more of their personality style, even more so than the subject that they're teaching. Now, usually people's personalities help them fit into what subjects they gravitate toward. So your math teacher should be more of the style that makes math easier to learn. But that is not to say that each one of these learning style or teaching styles fits with your learning profile. Do you want to know more about your learning profile? I suggest that you do find out more about it. You can actually look at what type of learner you are. We can talk about it, schedule one-to-one. You can email me, eric@collegesuccesscoaching.com. Jump on the website. You can become a member. You can ask. We can do that really quickly. You can also, I can put up a couple of interactive surveys. Actually, let me take a note to do that so that you have resources on the website if you're a subscriber. Sorry, guys, on YouTube, but it is important that there are resources available to those who are paying. So let's see, make and post the interactive learning style quizzes. Okay, so I will do that for you, and I'll make sure that you have that information available. And yeah, so that's hopefully going to help you to know what to say to your teacher. Like, yeah, I understand that you are kind of being the expert and that you want to give the information out in more of a lecturing format, but I actually do better when I interact and more hypothesis buildings. And if you delegate something to me and I learn it, I come to a conclusion on my own, I might learn it better and faster. Or if you allow me to teach somebody else something in a small group, it might really help out. Unless it's Susan over here who doesn't do any work when she's in the group. Don't talk about Susan like that. She's a very nice girl, and that's really assumptive of you. It's terrible. Anyways, this has been the article of the week. So we come to the section of our wonderful live stream where everybody here who is a member gets to get all their itchy fingers going and send me all the questions that they have. If you want to send me questions that you have, though, you're going to have to become a subscriber. You know, it's kind of like Heartable. It's what we are here. It's okay. You can just join on www.collegesuccesscoaching.com. You can jump over on the link that's right there in the description, and you can find out how to become a member. It's really quick, it's painless, it's easy, and it's free for the first couple of weeks. And after that, like, you know, you've robbed me for 2 weeks of my time, so you might as well pay $50 a week. Come on. That's like nothing. That's like if you go to Starbucks every day. Starbucks is bananas expensive. But if you go there every day, you know, you can afford me.